Greetings, Goddess Body, Mind, Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyrone Lade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today is November 25th, 2019. Oh my goodness, we made it out of the Mercury retrograde storm period. We're out of Mercury retrograde. How was it for you all? It was very pivotal for a lot of the people that I have heard from. How was it for you? I'm just a little bit, I know it's November, but it's a little warm in Tennessee for November. So, anywho, a lot of people that I know had very interesting Mercury retrogrades. I would say for me, this Mercury retrograde has been insightful, personally insightful and empowering, and given me lots of opportunities. And if anyone is out there, let me know you're there. Say hello in the chat. But it's been insightful and empowering and given me an opportunity to really, I just feel like I'm getting a fresh new start. As y'all can see, this whole year has just been a transformational year. Got the haircut. Y'all like my hair? Y'all see I got my hair cut. My barber put my stuff back here. Hey, goddess, how you doing, Sarita? Yeah, so I had dreadlocks last year. At this time, this year, no dreadlocks. I feel like, so many changes in my lifestyle have needed to happen in order for me to be more present for this channel, for my membership site. And just there's this internal change that is happening for me. If you want to go to check out a playlist sort of like that I created at my Patreon site, patreon.com/goddess body mind spirit. And it's one of the latest. I think I made 2 posts today. One had a video that I posted on my YouTube channel, but nobody really. Oh, thank you, Sarita. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing well. But I posted it on my community page here on YouTube, but nobody, I don't know if y'all just saw it and didn't really check it out or whatever. But it's a song that was written by Ricky Byers Beckwith, and it's called I Release and I Let Go. Actually, I love that song because when I was initiating into Yemanjah in our final rites, one of the priestesses was singing that. One of our elder priestesses, Alola D was singing I Release and I Let Go. And once I got home, I was like, I've got to find this video. Well, this morning I was listening to it. And, this is that time where I told you all we have Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius, and they're right close together at close to the 27th degree. I think they're past it now, but it's somewhere close to the 27th degree, which is the galactic center, this very inspirational point, a point of expansion. And just Sagittarius is about expansion. Jupiter is about expansion. Venus and Jupiter are about giving something, right? And I put a video out about that. And so yesterday I was like, because that was when the conjunction was like the tightest. But today I woke up and it was like something just burst through my spirit, my soul. And it started with listening to that song, I Release and I Let Go. That's what it feels like for me, this Mercury retrograde happening in my rising sign. And now with all the Sagittarius energy going on, it's just like, and it's been happening all year, this huge shift and change that has happened internally. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. And so it sent me, now, I don't know if y'all watched this video that I posted. Now I made this video around December 2018, January 2019. It was the reading for the year. And in this reading, I put that this was the year for us to study female warriors. Now, I don't know if the people who I originally posted that for, have kept up with that, because even I had sort of forgotten about it. But, I've listened to the video a couple of times and I'm like, oh yeah, the year of the female warrior, we should study female warriors. And I was thinking, study the ones from the past or whatever. And just watching so many powerful women this year, I was like, wow, this is like the female warriors are emerging. They're coming to the forefront. And so this morning, I started watching a video by, who was the first one? Lena Horne. And it made me just go down this rabbit hole of, I want to listen to, songs by Donna Ross, Diane Carroll. I didn't post songs by all of them, but who's another one? Jennifer Holliday. I even came up a little, more like my generation, Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill. Whitney Houston. I just posted so many videos by these powerful women that I listened to growing up mostly. And it made me just feel like, wow, these are women, female warriors, my mom, my grandmas, just so many elders that we have that have come before us. This is what this today has just been such an inspirational day for me. And so I posted all of that in one thread on my Patreon, patreon.com/goddess body mind spirit. I didn't really expect to say all of this. I hope that, it's meaningful for you all, for me to share my journey. But let's talk about the new moon in Sagittarius. I hope that you all feel inspired. I mean, I cannot overstate. I just feel so amazing right now. So I hope that you feel amazing too. And I'm not saying that, some of us may not be struggling, but I was thinking this morning, if I did not know what was going on astrologically, I may have just said, girl, snap out of it. You need to get busy and get going with your day. But I just let myself just fall into this inspiration, and I actually feel free. I feel like lighter. I hope that you all are feeling that way. And I encourage you to use the Sagittarius moon. And, even Sagittarius is about being free. So I hope that you use the Sagittarius moon to move yourself to a level of freedom. Maybe set the intention. If you're like, I don't even really know where to start, set the intention to get free. You know what has you chained down. You know what has you in bondage, right? And so you want to make sure that you set the intention, or if you already know what that thing is, what can you do? This is something I really want to encourage everybody to do. And this is what the oracle indicated. Everybody needs to look at their belief system, because this is what Sagittarius is about. You want to look at your belief system, and you want to look at one belief that needs transformation. Now, if you don't know what that belief is that needs transformation, what you want to do is look at your life and figure out where do you feel the most stuck. That's an indication of where you have a limiting belief. Where do you feel unfulfilled? Where do you feel there is a lack? That is a place where more than likely you have a limiting belief. It's interesting because after I sat and listened to, I listened to music all morning, cried, and opened myself up to just being a new way, believing new beliefs. Because a lot of the songs I listened to, it's about the mindset. And I posted the majority of them on my Patreon, patreon.com/goddess body mind spirit, /goddess body mind spirit. So I had to drive to pick something up a county away. And so I started listening to some of my coaches who are talking about, stepping into a higher level of abundance as it relates to being a business owner. And one of them specifically was talking about beliefs and how really we live a life of beliefs. This is what Shango teaches, right? Shango is all about looking at what are our conditionings. And it typically what I loved about what this coach was doing was, it was like, think about how you were raised. Let's say you have blocks regarding money, or blocks regarding relationships, blocks regarding career, blocks even when it comes to some of the more internal states of being, such as self-worth, self-value, what are other things that I witness? How we look, regarding, our weight, our body type, so many beliefs that we were raised up with. And so, um, what we want to do is we want to bring up what are those beliefs, and then we have to start challenging those beliefs. And I think that that's to a large extent what life is about. Life is about challenging every belief until we get to the truth. And the truth is actually a place where belief does not really exist. it's it's actually a place of pure potentiality where anything is possible, anything can exist. And there's very little emotion, there's very little judgment. It's just beingness. I know this sounds etheric, but this is what Sag is all about. Sag is not about small bits of knowledge. It's about the vision, it's about expansion, and it's about high philosophy, high thinking. And so these are the opportunities we're wanting to get ourselves to be able to challenge a belief until we can move past it. And I encourage you to do this with the belief that you will knock out the box for 2020 and replace with a belief that allows you to be more expansive, that allows you to replace it with the belief that is allowing you to finally get unstuck. And unstuck looks different for different people. It could be the same situation, but what is unstuck for me might be, your unstuck might be different or whatever. Sometimes just removing the limiting belief is really what we most needed to bring us peace, love, joy, harmony. Just that is how I feel today. Just simply letting the belief go and setting up a new belief that is more empowering, has me feeling like I'm like ready to just fly. So that's something that I encourage you all to do during this Sagittarius new moon, is to think of a belief that you need to transform. And, I think about the Odu O'Shea. I've been working with this Odu more and more. And one of the ways I have begun to think about O'Shea is composting. So for those of you who don't know what the Odu are, let me just make sure I say this. The Odu are the sacred scripture within the spiritual tradition of Ifa. And the Odu are wisdom matrices, is one way you can look at them. It's the wisdom that lets us know. So if O'Shea speaks for you, then you know that you're going to be, it's a certain thing that you need to do. This is what O'Shea basically is the medicine. It's telling you, this is what you got, this sickness, this is what will heal you. O'Shea. Okay. And typically with an Odu, it's an Orisha or two or three that's going to speak through this Odu. And so this is Oshun typically speaks through O'Shea. So O'Shea is about composting. And so, I love the concept of composting. It's so powerful. It's something that we all need to do, because we take the scraps that look like trash, we put them in a pile. We have the leaves and the old grass, and you just keep turning that compost, which is basically trash. It's waste. And you just keep turning it and turning it and turning it. And then after a while, the compost actually becomes soil. It becomes very rich, moist soil that you can mix in with the dirt and, grow a beautiful garden with it. Right. So a lot of times that's what we're wanting to do with our beliefs. We can take a belief and we realize this thing is trash now. It's not serving me. It's not helping me. And what I'm going to do is learn from it, bless it, put it out there in the backyard in the compost pile, and turn it over. So the way that would look for us is remembering, from whence we've come with this belief and how it, what we can learn from it. Like, okay, I get that this is how it was. And a lot of times, if you're like me, you look at your life and you're like, you know what? I've got a little bit of a mess on my hands as a result of this limiting belief. And you want to take the belief, and typically if you get rid of something, you've got to replace it. And I just believe in transforming it, because you grow from it. You let go of the old way of understanding money or relationships or the self, and you step into the new way. And so we want to replace it with a new one, a new belief. And the next thing you know, what will happen is, another thing O'Shea says is, you have to set a new precedent. Okay. So you got to set a new way of being, a new paradigm has to be implemented. And so once the new paradigm is implemented, then that is where the blessings will flow from, right? How many of us, we hear that saying, you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. This is what we're being called to set intentions around for this Sagittarius new moon. We need to see the old results or the same results we keep getting with the same limited beliefs, lack of vision, and we need to do something new. A new precedent has to be set up. So take the old, compost it, it'll become something new. And baby, because I'm telling you, if we don't learn from the past, then we may make the mistakes. That's why we're just not just cutting it out and replacing it. It's like, let's get the lesson, and then we're going to start the new way of thinking, being, and operating. And you should see almost immediate results. All right. So use the Sagittarius new moon to think about a belief that needs transformation. Perhaps you've already set up a new belief and you just need to get it shored up. You just need to keep sticking and staying. It takes sometimes a little while for us to integrate the new precedent where it's who and what we are. The other thing that I will tell you is we need to have new moon intentions for Sagittarius. The new moon is the time, and this new moon is on the 26th of November. It's in the morning time over here in like North America, Central Time, and it's closer to the evening, late afternoon, early evening in Europe and Asia. And I just say that because I know I have some members who are in those areas. And so what we want to do is we want to go on ahead now, or one of my astrologers even teaches, within a week of the new moon, you want to write down your new moon intentions. What do you want to do over the next, from one new moon to the next new moon? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Okay. And you can be thinking about, like, what house is this moon happening in your chart? So if you don't know your birth time, just go by your sun sign. But if you know your birth time, then you want to find out what is your ascendant or your rising sign and where is Sagittarius in that chart. But also you can look at it from your moon sign as well as your sun sign. Okay. But the rising sign is the most accurate. And so you can set an intention related to the house that the moon is happening in. So for instance, and I'm not going to go deep into this because there's other astrologers that do a way better job than I do. I don't even consider myself to be an astrologer yet. I'm still saying I'm a student who's learning, but I do study astrology probably every day of my life. But I do want to just sort of give you a general idea. So for Aries, it's happening in your 9th house of beliefs, higher education or higher learning, and long distance travel. You could say inspiration also. For Taurus, it's happening in your house of transformation, as well as it's a money house that has to do with other people's resources. So change, transformation, other people's resources, shared resources. For Gemini, it's happening in your seventh house, which has to do with relationships, like one-to-one relationships. This new moon might have something, you might want to set a goal regarding getting a coach or becoming a coach. And also, Gemini, if you have anything going on in terms of legal affairs, going into the courtroom, this moon is an intention, or it's a good moon to set an intention around. Okay. For Cancer, this is happening in your sixth house, which has to do with workplace, employees, maybe co-workers if you don't manage people, as well as your lifestyle. So health, wellness, daily routines, lifestyle. Cancer, you might want to set some new moon intentions regarding that area of life. For Leo, this is happening in your fifth house. This has to do with creativity, your creative genius, maybe something that you want to get creative about. But also, Leo, this has to do with children, be it yours or, maybe somebody else's children. You may work with other people's children. It also has to do with dating, as well as doing something fun, having a good time, and maybe doing a sport or some type of sport that you really enjoy. Virgo, this is happening in your fourth house. So this has to do with home, family, emotions, and ancestors. Okay, so you might want to set some intentions, some new moon intentions regarding those. For Libra, this is happening in your third house. This has to do with, it's a business house. It has to do with skills. Maybe you want to teach some skills, learn some skills. It has to do with communication, be it business communication or just communication in general. You want to set up some goal about maybe staying in touch with people in a certain way. This also has to do with the mind. So maybe, I talked about the beliefs with Sagittarius. Maybe you need to clear up the mental health thing a little bit. Also, this has to do with siblings. I know some people have expressed, you know what, I'm not getting along with my siblings right now. Well, if you're Libra rising, you might want to focus on your siblings. All right. And also people that you just see day to day, co-workers, people in the neighborhood, just your neighborhood in general. Scorpio, this is happening in your second house, which is about personal finance. You might want to set up a goal about that. You might want to set up a goal about self-worth, self-value. Also, this is a house that is related to ancestors. So maybe something regarding your ancestors, family, set up some intentions regarding that, Scorpio. Sagittarius, this is happening in your first house. So you want to set up a new intention regarding your body, just your life in general. Sag, this new moon, and I'm going to say this is for Sag rising, sun, or moon. If I were you all, I would, no question, and I'm going to talk about this for everybody, no question, I would be setting up 2020 goals, not just from this new moon to the next. I would set it up from Sag to Sag season. What is it that you want to achieve in your life as a whole? This is a whole new beginning for you, Sag. So yeah, Sag, get on it. For Capricorn, this is happening in your 12th house. So Capricorn, you may want to set up some intentions that have to do with you getting away, taking a break, relaxing. Work-life balance is happening on the work-life balance axis. And the other thing that I would say to you, Capricorn, is this is a very spiritual house. So you might be someone who wants to set up some spiritual goals. Maybe it's some retreats you want to get away to, or maybe even you want to take some type of spiritual trainings. Lastly, Capricorn, I would say get creative, because this 12th house is a very creative house. And, so set up some goals regarding how you're going to be more creative. Aquarius, this is happening in your 11th house of gains. I also see the 11th house as a house where it's about what are our goals? What are we looking at? So what are we looking at achieving? So Aquarius, come on, set some goals about not just what do you want to achieve over the next month? But I say from one Sag season to the next, how gainful can you be from this year to next year? I would totally go for it if I were you, Aquarius. But also, Aquarius, this has to do with your friends, your vibe tribe. So I encourage you to, really look at what goals can you set regarding friends, just in general. I'll let you get creative in your own life with that. Last but not least, Pisces, this has to do with your 10th house of career and what you're known for. So again, I really encourage you to set a goal from this year to next year, Pisces, Sag to Sag season, Sag 2019 to Sag 2020. What are you going to achieve in your career? Write it down and go for it. So that was something else I wanted to talk to you all about today. And that is writing down goals in a way that really puts you on the hot spot or the hot seat for achievement. A lot of times we hear of the SMART goals, and if you don't know what those are, or you've never studied them, I would encourage you to study them. I don't really want to go too much into how to set SMART goals in this video, but you definitely want to write down goals that are going to make you accountable. Go tell other people you set this goal. Try not to be lukewarm in Sag season. We don't want to be lukewarm. That's my point. You really want to write down these goals in a way that are, one of the things about SMART goals is they're specific and they're measurable. And just like I told a couple of the signs, we really and truly need to be looking at setting our 2020 goals right now. We feel most inspired right now. Y'all remember Capricorn, it's about success, but it's dark and it's cold. I mean, it's serious. I mean, like Capricorn is when we're wanting to be taking some action, right? And I'll let you all know the readings that I've done, because I've already done the reading. I need to do the videos, but for 2019, December 2019, the energy is freaking incredible. So I encourage you to join my membership site, at least at the $20 tier. That gets you the weekly readings where I break everything down, week by week, to help people realize. And this is what I realized, y'all, this is not the time to be chilling out. Now, if you're sad, you may not have a lot of energy right now. Mars is in your 12th house. As a Scorpio rising, Mars being in my 12th house was rough. I did not like that. But I am hearing from at least one Sagittarius that they're tired. So Sag, you may not feel like you're able to get a lot done right now, but this is a time for you maybe to do some more internal work. When I think about Yemonja, she gestates the dream. She gestates the baby. We'll say it that way. So your dream might be your baby. Your goal might be your baby. And you might just have to gestate it. But for the majority of us, we probably have energy and we need to be moving forward. Capricorn, you're probably feeling pretty good too, now that I think about it. I just know Capricorn's been struggling. Cancer and Capricorn, my heart goes out to you all. Y'all have had it rough. If anybody needs to be on all this, it's Capricorn and Cancer, and Gemini and Sagittarius. Your turn is coming next year. So y'all don't act like, I need y'all to get it together, Gemini and Sagittarius, okay? Because y'all going to have the eclipses next year with Cancer and Capricorn. Bless y'all, Cancer and Capricorn. Anywho, so, I'm telling y'all right now, we need to be holding ourselves accountable. We need to be serious about what we write down. And I also say, be so serious to write it down, even if you sort of feel like, I don't really know how I can get this done. At least write it down so you don't forget, right? I hate writing down the same thing over and over again. but at least I never get out the game of trying to achieve it. And after a while, I just get closer and closer and closer. So come on, fam. Come on. Write it down. Write it down. Now, the other thing to remember about the new moon is we don't take action until we can actually see that sliver of a moon. So probably the moon moves into Sagittarius tomorrow early for those of us here in Central. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. It'll be more like late morning in Europe and Asia. And and then the moon will be there until, well, it'll be aspected. It'll go void on the 28th of November, and then moves into Capricorn. So probably around the 28th is when you can actually start taking action. Because y'all, the new moon is not actually, it's a powerful moon in terms of us doing some work, some spiritual work or whatever. But in terms of actually manifesting, I would say use the new moon to do some healing. Right now, even, what do you need to release and let go? Really think of what is holding me back from moving forward. So that's something that I would do. The energy that came from the Metu Netter is Geb positive, Geb negative, Y chat positive. So Geb is all about the earth and manifesting, knowing that you're going to have the resources. And essentially, when I inquired, like, really, what should I say about Geb? The oracle was indicating we all need to get out in nature and commune with the Orisha, the forces of nature, out in nature. And, if you're watching this from a colder place, put that coat on, put on some boots and some thick socks and go on out there and do something in nature. Take a quick 5-minute walk out there. Okay. Or, if it's too cold to be outside, sit by that window with a nice hot cup of coffee or tea, and look at the snow and become one with the magic of nature. For those of us who are in a little bit of a warmer place, we need to get out and about. I have on my orange today. That's a color for Sagittarius. Wear your Sag colors. It's a tropical feel to Sagittarius. But we all need to be seeking to connect with the Orisha. I would wonder, what do you do to connect with the Orisha out in nature? That's something that, it's so easy to just get in your car, come in your house, go from your house straight to your car. Some of us park in the garage. It's important for us to connect with the Orisha in nature. I believe in having altars and all of that. But if you read about the ancients, even people nowadays, the more connected people are with nature, it's just something about their supernatural powers being amplified. So, shoot, I'm going on a hike later today or something. I got to get out there. Wachat Hatep is about our psychic ability. So this is a time, I would like to know how many of you all trust your intuition out there. Huh? How many of y'all out there trusting your intuition? Type it into the chat. Do you trust your gut? Or if you're watching this in replay, type it into the comments. I would like to know who trusts their intuition. I'll look down in a minute to see if anybody lets me know. But this is the time to trust your intuition. I can assure you, as someone who uses her intuition every day, that the more you use your intuition, the stronger your intuition becomes. So I would encourage you to set intentions about cultivating your intuition. I am of my truth. And I know I just said, my coach said everything is a belief. So maybe I should say I'm of the belief. But it's my truth. It's my truth. And maybe it's a belief, but I'm going to tell y'all what I know. I do not buy this crap that we are born without a roadmap, that we're born without a compass. Hello, how are you doing, Miss J? Um, I no longer believe it. Now, there was a point in time when I felt so lost. And to a certain degree, I did not. Oh, thank you. Love you. I appreciate you. I'm so glad to share. So glad to share. Um, I remember feeling like I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do, but why is the world telling me I'm not supposed to do this? I'm really trying to, I'm so confused, right? And then, you go get a reading, and the reading confirms this is what you're supposed to do. Or you don't even go get a reading. You show up, and some person that's really tapped in and tuned into their intuition looks at you and says, I really think you should be a, and you're like, how does this person know? How, really? But the world says I'm not supposed to do this, or I'm not supposed to do that. I'm so confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm making, sort of light of it or whatever. Because sometimes, we have a lot of trauma that covers up our ability to trust our intuition. But no longer do I believe, because I'm one who's come from a wounded place. I'm one who, has faced so much of, why are you doing it that way? That ain't true. That ain't right. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do this. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. And it's just like, this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And if I don't do it, then I got to be dysfunctional. And guess what? I ain't going to be dysfunctional. And I'm going to follow my intuition. And I be doggone. My intuition never is wrong. And I might not listen to it. And then I'll come back and say, you know how we say, something told me. Something told me. Something told me. And I now use oracles. I've been using oracles 20 years now, close to 20 years. When my intuition is like, I think I'm supposed to do this, but I just want to make sure, because you know what? I do not feel like getting sidetracked too much. So now I will do a reading. And sometimes the oracle will say, no, you ain't supposed to do that. And I get to, flesh out, why do I feel like I'm supposed to do it? And I might find out, yeah, I'm supposed to do it, but there was something that I wasn't getting, and I needed to get some clarification before I move forward. Y'all, let me tell you something. Your intuition is there. You need to trust your intuition. If you do not trust your intuition, set up some goals to trust your intuition. And also let your intuition be your guide. I'm telling you, it's a powerhouse, because your intuition, sometimes it might be your ancestors talking to you. Sometimes it might be your guides. It might be your Orisha. It's always your Ori, right? You could always trust your Ori. Who knows? We all have these different ways of tapping in and tuning in. But whatever it is, it can see things that you can't see and sense. And actually, the intuition is like my eyesight as I feel it. Okay. I have eyesight. I look ahead and I can see out the window. I can see the sky, or if I'm driving down the street, I can see a car's coming over. They didn't see me, so I can slow down so that I don't get hit. The intuition is the exact same sort of thing. You can access this intuition to help navigate life. And how your intuition kicks in and everything, it's unique unto you. But let me let you know, no mistake about it. I don't care who you are, you have an intuition. And the oracle is saying during this new moon, We need to be using our intuition. We need to be trusting our intuition about people in our lives. That is one where I see people do not listen. That happened to me one time and never again. All right. Uh, Even when I slip, I'll catch myself. I'm like, oh no, my intuition is telling me, nah, bruh. I don't want nothing to do with you. And I don't even have to know why. If my intuition says no, it's no. If I find out, the person's cool, maybe it just wasn't that day for me to talk to that person, right? But typically my intuition never, ever fails. That's one where I see a lot of people struggle with their intuition. But it just comes from not using it, not trusting your intuition. And next thing you know, you're in trouble. You're in a situation. And the longer I live this path of the goddess-based lifestyle, the longer I tap in and tune in to the Ifa tradition, metaphysics, the more I realize there is no reason for us to be living blindly. There's no reason for us to be running in circles. No reason. Other than the world has sold us a lie that we do not know where we need to go. We always have to be checking in with everybody else that, keep us in disarray and disheveled, so that we constantly spending money to get fixed and, to get out of this rut. And we are not really getting ahead. See, Sagittarius is about getting ahead. Sagittarius is about moving forward. The Libra through Capricorn, no, through Aquarius for sure. I'm gonna give it Libra through Aquarius, maybe even Scorpio and Virgo. You dealing with those signs in the zodiac. It's like, come on, make this happen. The earth signs, definitely. I guess what I'm trying to say is we're in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about what's your goal? What you trying to do? All right. Have a vision for yourself. This is my eye. Have a vision, see the big picture, all right? Don't be falling for the small little minutia that we run up against every day. Keep your eye on the vision. As the ancestors say, keep your eye on the prize, all right? Then we got Capricorn coming up, which is like, all right, baby, we about to work hard. We're going to get this done, all right? No matter what, we will stick, we will stay, we will get this done. Then we got Aquarius coming. And what does Aquarius say? Aquarius is like, baby, we're about progress. When you see me in Aquarius mode, this is what Aquarius is saying to us. You see me in Aquarius mode, progress. See, Aquarius, Sagittarius, even Capricorn, it's like, don't be holding me back now. All right. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to get ahead. That's where we are right now, y'all. All right. And the best thing we can do is use our intuition. Use our intuition. I'm telling you, it's a powerhouse in the world. You don't want you to know your intuition. All right, let me see here. Hey, Joan. Good, Joan. I'm glad you are learning to trust your intuition. I like what you say here. Intuition confirmed by synchronicities. That is one of the best ways to begin to trust your intuition, because sometimes you just start a little bit small, like, maybe I'll turn down this road because I feel like there's a parking space there. I don't care if I turn down that road and was no parking space. At least I gave it a good old college try, right? But if every time I do that, I notice there's a parking space, then it might make me trust my intuition about, okay, I'm trying to decide, should I go to, this event? I don't even know, someone invited me to this event. I don't even know if I should go to this event. Like, is this really what I want to do? Okay, I feel like my intuition is telling me to go. You go and you meet somebody there who you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I came. Or I would have never met this person, or it would have taken me a longer time to meet this person. And then, you start trusting your intuition for other things that, are related to bigger risks. And then you start saying, you know what, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. I will tell y'all my intuition. I'll give y'all one that's easy. Dark Pixie Astrology. I love this lady. Um, I remember when I first started becoming voracious about astrology, I found her website and she had this course you could download for free. It's like, basic astrological understanding, or things that you need to understand, just the basics. And then I began to realize, okay, wait a minute. She sends out emails that are, it's like you have to act fast. She's like, you can buy the full course, but it's only going to be around for the next 72 hours. So I started realizing this is what she's doing. And I started realizing this lady is about to stop teaching. She was sending out all these messages. So I was like, every time she put out a course, because her courses had been so affordable, I would buy one. And I would always send word like, don't quit, because she kept like trying to prep us, y'all. I'm going to stop. And I just kept thinking, if this lady puts out a full, any big course, I'm going to take it. And I'm telling y'all, I sat around and I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, she did two big ones that I've been able to work with her on. And one in particular, I'll just give y'all more details as things unfold. I don't like telling my stuff before it's like actual hard and fast. But I'm telling y'all, my intuition says stick with this lady. And I have gained so much. And that's just because I could feel something inside of me was like, stick with Dark Pixie Astrology. I'm telling you, this one is one of the ones to stick with. And, Lada, who is probably the one I've learned from the most, I just so happened to be clicking on videos. And then I just find this lady who's sitting there twirling her hair. And I'm so like, who is she? And the more I listened to her, the more I was like, oh, I love what you're saying. I have learned my astrology knowledge has gone or increased very quickly because of Lada. And then not just learning from her. She has so many astrologers teaching that, I just keep learning. And they teach all different kinds of astrology or whatever. It would have taken me longer to learn this any other way. Right around the same time I found Lada, she started teaching a foundational course in astrology. I was like, wow. And it all stemmed from my intuition. I didn't know anything. I had not watched astrology videos. I didn't know nothing. It was all Lada, intuition that led me to Lada and all these amazing astrologers. So that's just an example. I'm gonna give y'all more information about Nick. Just give me a couple of days. Once I can let y'all know, I'm telling everybody what I have achieved with Nick. Hello, Tanise. How are you? So good to hear from you. Ashley, yes. Intuition is like a muscle. Use it or lose it. Okay, so Miss J brought up a good one. Trying to differentiate my intuition with my ego. Okay, so that is a really good point. And what ends up happening is you begin to see how they feel differently. Intuition feels one way, ego feels another. And typically, intuition, there's this peaceful feeling about it. And ego, there's always a little bit of tension, because even with intuition, when it's calling us to do something that we are like, you want me to take what kind of risk? You want me to do what? There's this knowingness that you have. It's like I might feel nervous about it, but it feels peaceful, if you know what I mean. But when it's the ego, typically I feel a tension. There's no peace in this ill at ease feeling, this tension. And sometimes there's a rationalization that'll go with it, like, well, for me, a lot of times it has to do with spending money. That's where I have to be careful. Just spend, spend, spend. um, and so maybe I said, okay, this is the budget I have for that. And if it doesn't fit this budget, I'm not buying it. And I'll see something and I'll think, oh, I want it so badly. And sometimes I even think I didn't even know I wanted this thing until I just saw it just right now. See, this is an indication. And I'll hear all these reasons why I should buy it. The little devil sitting on the shoulder. And I want it for this, and I could just see me using it for that, and I could use it for that, and this and that, and oh, ooh, and I'm gonna break a rule, and and then the other thing is I'll say, well, maybe I should do a reading. No, I want to do a reading because the oracle might tell me what I don't want. It's like this whole thing that just seems so wrong. But the only way I differentiated this, Miss J, is I just started going for it. And then once I figured out, oh, that was my ego. Oh well. At least I know that was my ego. That wasn't actually my intuition. But what I will tell you is get a pendulum. And the more you use the pendulum, and I match it to typically my intuition, or you can match it to your ancestors of light. You can have that pendulum connect with whatever energy you want it to connect with. And you can ask it, is this a yes or no? It's best for yes or no questions. Like, really, should I spend this money that I know I'm like, I really want to get it? But just, a lot of times I'll say, just tell me what I want to hear. I'm gonna act like this is a pendulum. Tell me what I need to hear. Don't tell me what I want to hear, pendulum. Tell me what I need to hear. I'll say something like that. Of course, I use the Metunetter. That's been my go-to. That's the first oracle I ever used outside of my own intuition. So, get something where you can ask yes, no questions. So something like a Mayan oracle, I don't see how people use that to ask yes, no questions. If you have your cowrie shells, use cowrie shells. For those who have those, 4-penny divination. And now I'm just honest with y'all, I would use that like I would use 4 cowrie shells, but I don't know. Let me know if you have a way of asking yes, no. Other people might be able to learn from it. Okay, nice, Joan. I love that. You did you write it down? Oh, thank you, Tanis. Yes. Diza B. When you're super sensitive, it's not all the time easy. It's not all the time easy. And that's why I do believe in having a backup. And at some point, you got to keep testing it until okay, I trust it now, So I just say some people probably need to get a pendulum or an oracle like the Metunetter. I don't know if tarot. I don't know anything about tarot really, but I don't know if you can ask yes no questions of that. But now I will say the thing that you want to do is set the question up right, and this is where a lot of people get confused. So this is what I would say. What's the advisability of me doing fill in the blank? Let's say buying this cup. Let's say I really want this cup and I have like 15 cups. But it just looks like one that I really want. I can think about like 15,000 ways I would use it or who I'm going to give it to or whatever. And I would say, what's the advisability of me buying this cup? But I always ask the other question, what's the advisability of me not buying the cup? Okay. Especially, I don't know. I just like seeing both sides of a thing. Because sometimes it's going to say, yes, definitely buy the cup. And no, don't not buy the cup. the way it would be is, what's the advisability of me not buying the cup? And it indicates, no, don't do it. That's good. Don't buy it. Wait a minute. Anywho, y'all know what I'm trying to say. And so, probably the way I would say it is, what's the advisability of me leaving the cup at the store? Because if you put don't in there, you're like, okay, well, what did I really ask? So what's the advisability of me leaving the cup at the store? So if it says yes to me buying the cup, and no, don't leave the cup at the store, so I'm feeling pretty confident I should buy this cup, right? A lot of times that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's definitive. If it said yes, buy the cup, and yes, leave the cup at the store, I would take it as, it doesn't really matter if I buy it or not. It's neither here nor there. Or I might get a definitive, don't buy this cup, leave this cup at the store. What's the advisability of me? What's the advisability of me doing the opposite of that? You got to phrase it in a way where you're going to understand what the oracle says. All right. So you could use a pendulum for that. Okay. Another question or another way I phrase the question is, how will I fare if I buy this cup? And if I get a no, if I'm using the pendulum, it's like, I'm not going to fare too well. Probably I need this money for something, and I don't know that I need this money for something. And so I'm not going to fare well. How will I fare? And I'm not going to lie, I don't like asking too serious of a question using the pendulum. So what's the advisability of me taking this job? I'm not asking the pendulum that. That one will be done with the Metuneta Oracle. I do advise, if it's a big job change and you don't know how to do your own readings, pay somebody to do the reading for you. Pay somebody, or get an astrologer to see, is this in your destiny? I do both. I like astrology and the oracle. But if it's something like, what's the advisability of me going on ahead and applying for this job? I probably will use that pendulum. That's not that serious. If you just apply. Now, once you look to accept the job, especially if it's a lot different, quite a bit different, you got to move or something, guess who's going to that oracle? All right. Or maybe I'm looking at my chart to see, is it time for a job change? Like, is this really on the horizon? So, I do say, for those of us who are extremely sensitive, we might have to use an oracle. You can start off with a pendulum and then go with a higher level, even if it means you need to pay. I'm telling y'all, paying for readings, so many times I'm like, I see people go through stuff. I'm like, they didn't get a reading. If they had gotten a reading, there's no way I can believe the oracle would have said, yeah, do this, where they end up in that situation. That's why we get readings, to keep up from ending up in situations. Now, I don't want to get too deep off into how sometimes you got to find the right person to do your reading, but yeah, readings help. Oh, and I'm gonna have to get off pretty soon. Y'all gotta go teach bar. Hey, Nina. Okay. Yes, ego is fear-based, Ashley. I love that. Wait a minute, what'd you say, Joan? Joan said it's always on sale. I know, that's right, Joan. A sale will get me. I will break down for a sale. But one of my friends turned me onto this app called YNAB. You need a budget. I'm telling you, I love this app. I feel like I'm such a money manager, money managing machine now because of YNAB. So I'm like, you might be on sale, but let me see if I need to look at YNAB to see, can I really buy this? And I don't like seeing my money leave. YNAB makes me watch my money so much better. And it's like, that sale ain't worth it. Oh, I love that, Diza B. Very good. Sometimes it takes a big change like that because we don't want to let down grandma and them. Very good. Joan, yes, write it down. Okay, Diza B. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a tarot reading. I watch people who do tarot readings online, and you know, they channel their readings through the tarot or whatever. And it's interesting, but I don't know if you can ask yes or no questions. You're welcome, Miss J. Oh, thank you, Joan. Woo, Joan says my readings are amazing. I'm telling y'all, I love doing readings. So in the goddess tradition that I'm initiated into, Sacred Feminine Mysteries, we carry what are called vibrations. So like within Ifa, people are known as priestess of Oshun or priest of Shango or priestess of Obatala, whatever. But within the Sacred Feminine Mysteries tradition, we carry vibrations. So my vibrations, one of my vibrations is called Vanya. Vanya is about divination. And it's the one that I'm most easily aligned to. So I'll tell y'all, this is, and I started doing readings before I finished my initiation, but this is how I know Vanya is my vibration. When I first started studying the Metu Neter and doing Metu Neter readings, nobody taught me. Let me put it this way, no human being taught me. Now, I read the Metu Neter about 3 times, and I did study how do you do readings, but I never had a human teacher. And I remember when I began to realize, wait a minute, the Oracle is teaching me how to use it. Oh, this is cool. And my godfather, and I don't wear that Eleke because it started breaking. And I was like, I do not ever want this Eleke to break full on because it's a very intricately made Eleke. But he made me a diviner's Eleke. And whenever we are someplace with Oba Babaji Kolioso, he always says, that don't me lie day. She taught herself that Oracle. The Oracle taught her. She's a natural diviner. And so, I'm like, yeah, even with astrology, I've caught on just like that with astrology. Now, I do study on a regular basis. It's a voracious desire to learn. It's like I love learning it or whatever. But I will say, I think I've caught on pretty quickly. And it's this Vanya vibration that I carry. It's a natural gift that I have. Even though I didn't use oracles as a kid, people were like, you're a little bit wise beyond your years. That's what people always told me, even though I was like one of the greenest people out there. I was always so like not experienced in life, but it was like I had this natural wisdom. And so what goes along with that is passion for doing readings. I love doing readings, and I always want to just do a reading where people are like, you know what, girl, this gave me a great roadmap. I navigated my way to the best of the best. So thank you, Joan, for that. Okay. Thank you, Diza B, because I did not know. I like that name, LeMay. Okay, so LeMay, I might get back on later today because I have to go teach in about 6 minutes. I have to go teach bar. So maybe we can, or if you don't want to talk publicly, then maybe you can send an explanation to me. Just go to my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com, and you can see how to contact me on my website. Thank you, Joan. Perfect, Joan. I would love to do a New Year's reading for you. That's something that I will be talking to you all about soon in the membership site. Yes, Diza B said she learned tarot on her own, like I did the Metu Neter. Yeah, it's like maybe we've had another lifetime. I don't know if y'all hear my dog. If you do, he's been a dog out there barking, probably at the neighbor's dog. So, anywho, let me see here. What did I want to tell y'all? I actually relate Sagittarius to Ma'at. So this is what I'll say, because I'm into candles. I'm going to begin to start doing a better job of channeling rituals, but I'll just give an easy one right here, right now. Now, I've already talked about the writing down your intuitions from Sag to new moon in Sag to new moon in Capricorn, and new moon in Sag until new moon in Sag 2019 to new moon in Sag 2020. Yeah. We're not playing. And the thing I want to tell you is the long-term goals that you come up with, um, they're open for change. We have until the spring to kind of like really get a handle on exactly what we're going to do. We might have to tweak them a little bit. So no panicking. Don't not do it. Do it. Okay. Write them down. Like I said, Sagittarius's color is orange. That's one of the colors, or it's a tropical feel to it. Okay. And so you want to light a candle, an orange candle. If you don't have an orange candle, just light a candle. All right. Especially if you have like a little tea light candle or something like that. And, after you write down your intentions, light the candle. You can even set the intentions by the candle. And I say, talk to the energy of Ma'at. Call on the energy of Ma'at. You always call on your Ori and your ancestors. That's like a given. All right. And you ask Ma'at to help you to have the vision that you need to have. Ask Ma'at, is this everything I need to write down? Show me, what else I need to write down, Ma'at. Or, do I need to change something? And give me the vision. Ma'at is considered to be the fortune major. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is about blessings and expansion, and it will help you to get to where you're trying to go. Basically, you can talk to the energy of Jupiter, and you're basically wanting to ask for whatever you need in order to move forward. And you always tack on with grace and ease. Because I can tell you, it's interesting. My husband preached about this, and I'm like, this man does not buy into astrology one at all. And he's given a Sagittarius sermon. It was about forgiveness. A lot of us need to forgive somebody. All right. The other thing I would say is infuse your life with gratitude when you're dealing with Ma'at. Forgive and infuse your life with gratitude. That will help you to see where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, and it'll help you stay inspired, because that's what Ma'at does for us the most. She gives us the inspiration and the positive mindset to keep moving. Now, you could light a blue candle if you're working with Ma'at. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Disa B. My dog, actually, I say he's a Sagittarius because based on when we got him in February, I think he was 8 weeks old. And I just sort of tracked it back to Sag. He is the friendliest, happiest, go luckiest dog. We never fear this dog hurting anybody. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to save him as somebody breaking the house, because he is like not gonna, he's gonna be like, y'all, let's go out the back door. Come on, let's go. He won't bite anybody. He is truly a Sagittarius. Okay, Nina Soul says flipping a coin is an easy yes or no divination. Heads is yes, tails is no. And if you're gonna do it, you just need to go with it, y'all. Nina Soul says tarot does yes or no. She said reverse is no, right side up, yes. So for tarot, reverse is no, right side up is yes. D's a B. Let me see. Whoa. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for joining me. As always, I love the lives. I definitely plan on coming on doing more lives um, as time goes on. But whoa, y'all always just give me a nice little boost. But I must go teach bar now, y'all. So I'm gonna go and work my muscles a little bit and try to help people work out. And I'm not torturing anybody. I did not say torture. I said I'm gonna help people do bar and work out. Happy new moon in Sagittarius. If you need something to work on in the body for Sagittarius, focus on the liver, the thighs, and the hips. All right. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all take care. Happy Sagittarius new moon. Keep me posted on how things are going. Go over and check out my inspirational playlist that I posted today. Patreon.com/Goddess Body Mind Spirit. And I think the first one on that thread is the video of Lena Horne, If You Believe in Yourself, from The Wiz. All right. If you believe, that's what Sagittarius is all about. Belief, baby, believing in the good, believing in the dream, in the hope, in the vision, in the future, and using that arrow, pointing it in that direction and going for it. All right. Love y'all. Take care. Happy New Year to all the Sages. Happy birthday to all of the Sages. Love y'all all so much. Let's do this. Peace.